So, you're planning to visit Madeira?
Well, I've got 15 essential tips you're not going to want to miss before you visit this amazing island. From the food, to hiking, to money savers, these tips are going to turn your trip from good to great.
Let's do it. Tip number one, we have to start here, don't we? Perfect day to prove it is weather. Now today in Funchal, it says no rain. And that's true. If you look left, it is perfectly blue skies, bright sunshine, fantastic day. If you just turn to the right, it's raining. There's even a rainbow. And whilst it is beautiful, it proves my point here. The weather is changeable. Sometimes you can see the app and it says bright sun for the next week. What do you get? Rain. Sometimes you can see that there's rain for a week, and what do you get? Sun. Apart from that, it changes throughout the day as well. So the tip here is come prepared. Bring layers, bring things you can change, bring mixed clothes basically. Don't just look at the weather in advance and expect the sun. All right guys, next up I have come to Mercado Lavradores, the central fruit and veg market, let's say, because my next tip is that you need to try the tropical fruit. From the passion fruit, to the custard apple, to yes, even the banana. Madeira is home to incredible tropical fruit, but I don't want you guys to get ripped off. It's pretty well known if you live here that the fruit sellers on the edge of the central market overcharge the tourists, let's say, and you do not want to get taken in by that. So, a couple of tips around this. If you're here on a Friday or a Saturday, the local farmers come in and sell their produce. Much better value, proper value, let's say. If you're not here on those days, go upstairs and check out this place. It's another fruit and veg market upstairs. Real prices, no hawking, no trying to call you over and taste things, no hassling you basically, just there to sell the fruit and veg. Or you can go to one of the local fruterias and get local prices as well. Don't get ripped off, but do try the fruit. Now I think this one goes without saying, but Madeira is kind of busy these days. So if you are planning to come here, please book things in advance. I don't just mean the flights and the hotels. I also mean your activities, your things to do, any sort of tours or things you might want to go on, even reservations at the nicer restaurants. Please, please, please book in advance, especially during the peak times, which is the summer, of course, during Christmas, during Easter, during school holidays. In fact, because Madeira is a year-round destination, you pretty much want to take that advice all year round and get everything planned, because the last thing you want is to be excited about something and then not be able to do it because you've left it until last minute. If you come here and you do want to make last minute decisions and it's possible, brilliant. But don't miss out on it because you haven't done it. Book in advance. Food, of course food. There is so much good food here in Madeira. Local, authentic, traditional Madeiran food, and Portuguese food, of course. Similar, but espetada, the meat skewers, bolo de caco, the garlic flatbread, mil frito, the fried cornmeal, the tropical fruit, poncha, the list goes on. So please try the local food. Please get out. If you're half board or even if you're all-inclusive, please get out and go and try some local bars, local tashkas, local restaurants. You won't be disappointed, I assure you of that. If you get the right places, of course, and if you want to guarantee that you've got some good food coming on your trip to Madeira, you can, of course, buy my food map. It will come with the PDF, the foods you must try when you're here, my top 10 places to try them at, and then a map with 150 Google Map links on to guarantee good food. Please get out and try it. You won't regret it. Please respect the environment. This isn't so much of a tip, more of a plead. Please respect the environment. Take care of it. Treat it with respect. I see far too often on hiking trails where people have used the bathroom and just left tissue paper strewn all over the floor, left rubbish thrown all over the trails. It is disgusting. So please bring a bag, put your trash in, you pick up the stuff for the dog, so bring a bag for your tissue paper as well. I'm not saying pick everything up, but at least bring your tissue paper up. I know it biodegrades, But the last thing you want when you're walking along a beautiful hiking trail is to see tissue paper after tissue paper after tissue paper after tissue paper. Okay, rant done. Respect the environment also means park in decent places, don't just park everywhere. Don't pick the flowers, leave them for other people to see. Stick to the trails, take precautions as well, because that works both ways. Look after the environment, but also respect the environment in terms of give it the respect it needs, not to be caught foul by it, because it can be a little dangerous over here. And while I was talking about flowers, weirdly, I'm sat next to this one, Angel's Trumpet. Bonus tip, don't come up to it, taking a photo, sniffing it, like I see everyone doing. It's one of the most poisonous flowers in the world. It can kill you. Don't do that. The good news about Madeira is it's incredibly photogenic, but that means it's all over social media and blogs, of course. But the thing I've noticed is it's the same spots again and again and again and again. And that means when people are planning, they all want to go to those same spots. And the consequence of that is it's incredibly crowded. The Levadas, for example, the hiking. If you look at any top 10 list, they're pretty much all the same. The 25 waterfalls hike, PR1 from Pico do Arriero to Pico Ruivo. That one is amazing, to be fair. Caldeirão Verde, Ponte São Lorenzo. It's great, they're spectacular, they're stunning. But you are hiking with hundreds of other people and you're having to wait for them, and it kind of takes away the nature, if you ask me. But this island is full of hiking opportunities. There's literally thousands of kilometers of hiking on this island. So why follow the crowds? Go and find your own little piece of beauty. It is everywhere, guys, and get away and enjoy it. And yes, do those as well if you really want, if they're really on your bucket list. But definitely get away from the crowds if you can. And I promise you, your experience will not be any worse for it. The other way to do it, of course, is get there early, but inevitably, at some point, you will meet the crowds anyway. Oh, and the other thing about those popular hikes, they've become so popular that they've started charging for them. Normally only 2 or 3 euros, so make sure you bring some cash, otherwise you won't even be hiking at all. The final tip on hiking, I promise, is be prepared. Now that sounds obvious, but Madeira can be incredibly dangerous and people do go missing, people do die, things do happen, unfortunately. So, of course, have the right equipment, the right trousers, the right trainers or hiking shoes, preferably, the right bag, bring enough water, of course, bring snacks. Let someone know where you're going, that would be helpful. Tell them the times, tell them the routes, tell them where you are staying. All of the things you would do if you were using your common sense to be careful, but also check the weather, of course, check the weather apps, check multiple weather apps, use the webcams, and try and plan the trip as well as you can. 99% of the time, you're going to be absolutely fine. No problems, you're going to have an amazing time, but you do want to be prepared because it can get cold out of nowhere, can rain out of nowhere, the ground can be unstable out of nowhere, and some of the Levadas, some of the hiking spots, they are a little bit risky. There are steep drops, there's loose ground. You just want to be careful and be prepared. Like I said in the respect piece, give nature and give the environment the respect it deserves and you'll be safe. You're going to have an amazing time, guys, and you definitely need to get out hiking. I'm not trying to put you off, just trying to make sure you're safe. And worst comes to the worst, if you don't happen to have everything, there is a Decathlon store here so you can pick up some of the stuff you need. Now guys, if you are looking for gorgeous sandy beaches, I must admit you're not going to find them in Madeira, but you are going to find them 2 hours away by ferry in Porto Santo. Now you can buy the tickets online, or you can buy them in stores like this in Funchal. It is stunning, gorgeous, huge sandy beach. It did win 2002 Best European Beach, so you know it's a good beach for a start. There is more to the island than its golden sandy beach, but there is a huge golden sandy beach there, and you can do a day trip. You can take the ferry in the morning, and you can come back in the evening, or if you have a longer stay, you can go over for a couple of days or a day and just explore the island, eat the food, relax on the sandy beach, and enjoy your time. So if a sandy beach, a golden sandy beach, is something you're looking for in your holiday, Madeira kind of has it in Porto Santo. All right, this is the one that will upgrade your holiday from good to great. It is get out of Funchal. I see and I know far too many people who come here and only stay in Funchal. Now, nothing against Funchal. It is a beautiful city, charming city. I love Funchal. I live in Funchal, come on. It's the place to be if you're staying in Madeira, of course. However, there is far more to the island than just Funchal. My favorite sites on the island are outside of Funchal. My favorite restaurants on the island are outside of Funchal. The mountains are incredible. The beaches or the saltwater pools outside of Funchal are also great. The coastline, the hiking, everything outside of Funchal is incredible. And the thing I love most, and I keep saying it again and again and again, the thing I love most about Madeira is it looks so different in so many different places. One minute you think you're on Mars, the next minute you think you're in Jurassic Park, then you're in amazing mountain landscapes. You can be on the coast and in the sea, and even round corners it changes with the microclimates. So I promise you, whether you're catching the bus, whether you're taking a Jeep tour, and I definitely recommend a Jeep tour, go check out my Jeep tour video with Madeira Green and Blue Tours. There's a discount in there for you guys, 10% off if you contact them. I'll also leave it in the description here if you want to do that. But whether you're taking the bus, a Jeep tour, or you're hiring your own transport, be it scooter or motorcycle or car, you must get out of Funchal, even if it's just for an afternoon. There are day tours and half-day tours. And I promise you, once you do it once, you'll want to go again because it is so incredible. When people who and ah about it, and I convince them to do it, it blows their mind. And they say, oh, I wish I did this sooner. I wish I had more time to go and see more, because it is that good. One thing in Funchal that I think you must do, if you like nature, and let's face it guys, who doesn't like nature, is doing the dolphin and whale watching tours. Now, I would say you're almost guaranteed to see dolphins. If you're lucky, you might see whales and tunas. There's a lot of tuna. There's a lot of wildlife out there, and the tours are fantastic. You can go on the catamaran, or I recommend going on the little rib because you're a bit more nimble. You can get around faster and go to where the wildlife are rather than just the set route of the catamaran. There's many different companies who do it. It's not that expensive, but don't leave it to your last day, because if you don't see anything, which the chances are very small, but they offer a guarantee that you can go again for free before you leave. They'll rebook you. I've done it many times, and I love it every single time. Every single time is different, but there's always something, and just an incredible little memorable experience, especially if you're lucky enough to see the whales. I know this one sounds a little bit hypocritical with the fact that I don't speak Portuguese, but I do recommend that you learn just a few words of Portuguese for when you come here. Even if it's bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, obrigado, desculpa, sorry. You know, obvious basic things that taste good. When I go to countries, I like to learn hello, thank you, I'm sorry, where's the bathroom? That tastes good. Basic phrases just to make people smile, for you to come across friendly, and just to make some sort of impression beyond everyone else. I don't speak Portuguese, but I speak a few words like those ones. And yes, you don't need it. Everyone here will speak English. Well, not everyone, but everyone that you'll come across in the touristy places will speak English. Most of them will speak French or German or whatever language. Most people here speak more than one language, let's say. But it does make a difference, I think, and it is a nice thing to do. And it's fun. So it's on my tip. Get a little phrase book. You don't need to come here and speak Portuguese. You can speak English or whatever language you speak. But you should learn a few words. Should is too strong. I suggest you learn a few words just to make your experience a little bit better. No matter what time of year you come to Madeira, the chances are there will be a festival somewhere on the island. From the big festivals in Funchal, like the Flower Festival in May, or the Firework Festival in June, to the small festivals, like the Cherry Festival at cherry harvest time, or just celebrating a saint in the little villages, you will find a festival absolutely everywhere on this island, and you should go to them because, one, it's a look into local culture, There's music, there's food, there's drinks, of course, lots of poncha, always poncha. The food is great. They normally have the meat on a stick, espetada, but you have half the cow there, which they cut it off, the bolo de caco, the fresh bread, the party atmosphere. It is really, really nice. I love them, and I do try and go to as many of them as I can. Haven't filmed any yet, maybe I'll start to do that too. But I definitely recommend it. If you have your own transport, it will be easy to get out and see, but keep an eye out for them. You can check on the Madeira website for the big ones, you'll find them there. Or there's some groups on Facebook as well you can join, and you can see festivals in the different towns and the different regions. From everything you can imagine, there's a festival for it over here. A quick tip on taxis. You will see the yellow taxis everywhere, including at the airport. But I've got to be honest, guys, they are not cheap. 30 or 40 euros from the airport to Funchal, and then obviously whatever you're charged within the city to anywhere on the island. They're convenient because you can find them everywhere. There are taxi ranks all over the city, but there are better options. You can use Bolt, it's an app you download on your phone, and you can use Uber. Both pretty much the same price as well, but you see the price up front, you see how long, and you can choose the size of the taxi. If you've used it before, you'll be used to it. If not, don't be scared. You just put your card onto it and use it like any other app, and you get charged the price you see, guaranteed. But it is a lot cheaper. I think from the airport and also to the airport is around 15 euros, much cheaper. The only thing to say on that is during peak times, supply and demand, the price might rise a little, and you might need to wait a little longer for your taxi, but the price difference definitely makes up for that. All right, last one for you guys, a bonus. As you probably saw today, the weather has gone from sunny to raining to cloudy to sunny to raining to cloudy. So weather, as I said, is an issue, but if you're going to get out around the island, you can check in a different way. You can check the webcams. If you type in Madeira webcams, you get a couple of different websites which show webcams all over the island at all of the spots you'll be going to be honest. So you can see what the weather is like right there, right now, before you leave. So when I said don't trust the weather, you have a solution. Check the webcams. That's definitely a big tip, especially if you're going to the beach or to the mountains, because you don't want to drive all of that way and find out that it's not as good as what you thought. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope those tips helped. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, it will really help it push it out. It will help me a lot. And if you would like to see more about this island,
you can watch another video of a Jeep tour right here.